I'm speaking through my little JoJo. Yeah, it's fantabulous is like the best word ever. It's like, you're fantastic, but you're fabulous. So stick them all together and you're fantabulous. Yes.
I love it.
Yes. So we'll wait a couple more minutes for people to come in the room. But yeah, so welcome to Clubhouse. And this is your first room. So
I can't believe I'm here. Oh my goodness, you guys. It's been a love and challenging relationship. I wouldn't say, hate, but a challenging relationship with Clubhouse. So, only you can get me here.
Exactly. But it's a fun community. Michelle's awesome because she's part of the 413. And the 413 is the community where I'm in super early in the mornings. So it starts at like 5:40 a.m., but it's totally worth it because the relationships that I've built are incredible. So that's the one I wanted you to come to in the afternoon because I know you're not waking up at 5 because you went to sleep at like 3. So.
Danae, did you just say 5:38?
5:40, yeah.
Oh, 5:40. 5:40. I'm an hour ahead of you.
Okay. Yeah, so you're on the East Coast.
I'm like 4:38.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
Yeah.
Where are you located?
I'm in Utah. That's why they can't get. That's why I can't get people in there.
Yeah, because it's so early.
I tell them the time, and they're just like, "Are you kidding me?" No.
It's like it just becomes part of your normal routine when you wake up. You know what I'm saying? So. I know people are slow to get here.
Someone named Lorraine. Lorraine's here.
Yes, Lorraine, welcome. Clubhouse is always tricky when it comes to getting people in the room on time. Child, people don't come on time for nothing. So, and that's why I'm recording this.
Virtual,
yeah, exactly. But that's why we're recording this, and this is the first time, but definitely not the last for sure. But so we have Ericka Porter, MBA, in the building here on Clubhouse, and she is super awesome. Tell everybody exactly what you do. Ericka.
Yes, I'm here. I don't know why I went out. That was really strange.
Because Clubhouse is tripping. That's all. No worries.
My goodness. It just like went out and then it came back in. Can you hear me okay?
Yep, loud and clear.
Good.
So go ahead and tell everybody who you are and what you do.
It's still doing it. Give me a second. Let me see here. Hey,
I think I know what the problem was. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Good, yeah. So I put my phone in do not disturb mode, but it's still ringing. So, yeah. So that's what happened, I believe. So it kind of knocked my audio out.
Gotcha. Right. Yep. When somebody calls and knocks the audio out.
Yeah. So you guys, welcome. And Danielle, she actually had to give me a few instructions prior to jumping on so that, I had some proper etiquette as it pertains to Clubhouse. So thank you guys for your patience as I go through this initial process. Thank you.
Definitely. So what's funny is that I met Ericka when she was speaking a few years ago at an event, and it was crazy because the weather was insane, but I read her profile beforehand, and I was like, I don't care what it's doing, I had to meet her. She is awesome. She's been in the industry over 20 years, and she was just the most amazing person. So sweet, so generous, and a lot of people in the industry aren't like that. Like, you're not going to find anyone in the industry like Ericka or Porter MBA, period. And what was so dope is that, I met her the first time. She took a picture with the magazine, and then we just started working together after that. We had a one-on-one. She told me to make a joy page for my Instagram make a jewelry page for Instagram. I did that, and now I'm almost at 1,000 followers on that page. I'm like maybe like 2 followers away from 1,000, so I'm super excited about that. And that's all organic, so I'm really, really geeked on that one. Because of her, I've been featured on TLC. I'm actually featured on her book cover and inside her amazing book. Like, she's just done so many phenomenal things in the industry. One of the most recent things that she's done is actually she produced some episodes of Dr. Phil. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you definitely can. What would you like to know is the question, because
gotcha.
Right. As a producer in that space, there's some things I can share, some things I cannot share.
Of course.
But what would you like to know is the question.
So the episode that just dropped, what was the craziest experience during that episode? Can you talk about that?
Okay. Well, I would say, so I wouldn't say it was crazy. What I can appreciate about being a producer, one of the producers, and because they have tons of producers, and they work all over the country, but then their central location studios is in California, of course. And so I always encounter something different. But I'll say this. Okay, so this last one, the episode is called My Mom, the Ex-Madam. And typically when I've been working on these shows, I've been working with women. That's been the general demographic of the storylines that I work on. And so this storyline required for me to go to Minneapolis, Minnesota. When we were on location, the mother was, and you guys can, go on to Dr. Phil's Facebook page. The video is there. You can also go to YouTube. It's there. It did air a week and a half ago. And so you guys can go back and watch it. But there was a point in time when we were actually in the field, and we were doing a cover shot. Basically, we call it an establishing shot. This is what she's talking about, where she used to be or where she was. So we actually went to the building, and we were shooting her from the exterior of that location. When someone came out of the building. And the gentleman that came out, followed by a woman, he said, hey, it was really nice. Can I help you guys? And she looked and she said, yeah, well, we're just shooting, but what's this? He's asking, well, what's this all about? And I didn't go into detail because I typically do not go into detail in the field. I just, we'll be pretty general. We're doing a storyline for her and blah, blah. Yeah. I don't tell them who I'm with or anything. So Miss Linda, she proceeded to share with me. She's like, oh yeah. She's like, she just started talking. Yeah, we're shooting for Dr. Phil. This used to be my building. The building used to be a massage parlor. And he said, really? He said, oh my goodness. He said, well, now it's my church.
Oh my goodness.
And yeah, the massage parlor where she had the prostitution ring, and all the other stuff that he's doing that, and is now a church. The pastor of that church, that gentleman, he was once a pimp. He used to bring his energy there. Yeah.
Wow.
And it blew my mind. It was, many times when I'm on shoots, I get confirmation that I'm supposed to be here, be a part of the story. There were so many confirmations, things just aligned, things that didn't happen, that weren't expected to happen. And so, he let us walk through, and we would shoot and everything, and of course we had to sign, they had to sign waivers, what have you. her to be able to, once they started talking, they realized they knew each other. And he realized, oh, you were the owner, you were the head, you were the madam. She called herself Madame. But it was amazing. They were hugging, and she was crying. And, she's far from, that this situation happened in the 70s. So she's now 70 years old. So it's an old life of hers. It's not a new life. But yeah, it was mind blowing because she also shared with me that it encouraged her to begin her healing process. She went back into the building of where she was providing service, and there was a lot of stuff that was going on. And it was they were adorable. And then Emily, I have no control on what happens on the back end, nothing. But to be able to connect with people like her, yeah.
Was it Dr. Phil episode?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's
And
called
when was that?
It was a week and a half ago. So I gave it a title. It's My Mother, the Ex-Madam. And you can go on to his YouTube page. It's definitely there. And they also have promo segments on there, promos on there as well. And then on his Facebook, so you can still watch it, even though it ran, it broadcast about a week and a half ago. So I think the last Wednesday is when it ran, but you can still find it. It's up, definitely there. It's a very, very, you got to look into the story, look past certain things once they're in person. But this family is they're focused on healing and moving forward. And this information was revealed through, and I know that Allison would not mind me sharing, she's an author. She was going through some old records and found these police reports and all this stuff on this woman from the 70s. And so she decided to speak with, and Danny, if you ever want to get Allison on, she wrote a book on Miss Linda. Oh, and that's how nice. The story came to Dr. Phil. But even Allison shared that there were things that she learned when I was there shooting them and getting more story to learn more things about Miss Linda. And so now Allison is doing interviews. So if you ever need her, let me know. I can get that taken care of. Yeah. Absolutely. And Ericka Porter is my guest here. First day on Clubhouse. Super excited. I think the cool thing about that whole situation is the fact that you've been doing television production for years. So how did you get involved with the Dr. Phil show? Was it just through basic contact, or they just saw all of your amazing work and was like, we need you? It's the amazing thing about that. I mean, that's like one of many shows that I provide service for. But it's really about relationships, and how you set the tone, what kind of tone you set for yourself in this industry. That's what it's about. Yes. Yeah. And that is about as far as I can go with it. Pretty much. I don't have to apply. I've not applied for a job in such a long time. Very long time. When my kids were little. I mean, all my kids are grown, and I have 5 granddaughters. But yeah, it's important to establish yourself in this industry as a brand. And if you're going to be providing certain services, to have all the resources, the tools to make yourself accessible. But then also to make sure that you operate at high integrity in this space, which is a very difficult thing to do. And also present yourself professionally, which many people do that. But it is not an easy space to work in. I've been in this space since 1997. My very first job was I was a receptionist because I wanted to get in the door of that television station. And I told them when they interviewed me, I said, I just want you to know that, I'll help you find a replacement for my position in 6 months because I'm going to be in the back. I told Bill and Gloria this. We talk about it all, to this day. He was the general manager, and then Gloria was the head of human resources at the time. And so that was my first job, was working at a television station. So I understand broadcast, I understand the environment and all that. So I've gained a lot of relationships over the years, and I've established myself as a brand. People recognize my work, which has truly been a blessing. And not to, I'm not saying this to boast or brag, but just when you're putting it out there, just make sure it fully represents who you are. Period.
Exactly. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. That it is so important to establish yourself as a brand, but then always be respectful of people and their time and their energy, because that's what gets you the callbacks. You can be good all day long, but if you're not respectful to the staff, down to the janitor, people don't want to work with you.
Yeah, and I'll say this: I have a lot of young people that come up under me, even folks that that have just wanted to that are in more seasoned individuals that are looking to break into the industry and or have always had some interest or put it on hold or just different things. And so it's one of those things when I'm consulting with folks, it's just it's important to establish the right relationship. You don't really know for sure. You got to kind of feel your way through all that, of course. But if you align yourself with the right network, then and that's a process itself, then you'll be okay. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but the path and the treading it's not going to be easy at all. But just being around the right people and doing what you're supposed to do. I would hope to think that the mark that I've made on people's lives have been a positive impact over a negative. And I've always thought out to move in that way because I would want to be treated that way. If I'm making sense. Am I making sense?
Oh, absolutely.
So, I treat people the way that I would want to be treated. Also professionally. Yeah.
Definitely.
Of course, I've got my challenges out here, I deal with egos and things of that nature, and it's back to a time when I was going to be graduate. I was a month from graduation. I was meeting with my dean, at the University of Cincinnati, and he said, "Ericka," he said, "you're going to make it. You're going to be very successful. You're going to be, draw." He said, "You've got to take your heart off your sleeve." And I looked at him, and instantly my eyes started sweating. This is what I'm talking about. You can't be emotional when you're in this business. You got to get that under control. And those words stuck with me. That was back in 2000. Mm-hmm. Those words stuck with me. And I clearly understand to this day what he meant. And people, they see me and you see this strong person or strong exterior, was this a Rome was it built overnight? I had to get stuff on the inside first. Because when people, they first impression, people are going to make an automatic assumption of who you are based on how you look on the outside. But then when they know who you are, then that's a whole different situation. And so I've dealt with my challenges because, people look at me and they'll say, "Oh, she doesn't. Oh, she's just a creative." Honey, I was a technical person first. I worked in engineering. My first, after that reception job, I was in master control. I was switching TV shows. I was switching Jamie Foxx show and 7 Heaven and all that stuff. I was formatting. I had my hands on the machine. So I understand what they do, and I can also, God is blessing me with this amazing gift of creativity, and so to be able to pass that stuff on extremely important to me and so necessary. We all should be doing that. What we learn, what we gain, we pass it on to the next folks so that they can be successful. So, yeah.
Definitely. And Ericka Porter is MBA is my guest here on Clubhouse. So what's awesome is that the founder of this room actually came in the room. Seba Chavez is here. So Seba, meet Ericka.
Hi, Seba. I love your photo. It's cute. How cute is that?
Thank you, Ericka. Very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
We have a lot in common, so I'm grateful that you're able to join us today.
Good. Good. Looking forward to hearing yours.
Seba's been in the industry since she was very, very little. But now where we've been doing workshops and training new people in PR. So yeah, y'all definitely need to connect. So I'm glad that y'all were able to talk. Yes, honey.
More than one light bulb popped above my head.
I already know. I already know.
I think right now, like we're just closing out this week, Introduction of Public Relations, which was really an inclusive course that I designed, and Danaya has been there to start with me. And we did that specifically to educate people on the importance of having public relations, advertising, marketing in their business, but really to kind of explain, what that is, because so inundated with so many horror stories. So the person that I'm successing is Jonathan Clarity, who asked me to take over Black Hollywood in his position as senior celebrity publicist almost 7 years ago in the passing of his client, Mr. Michael Jackson in Houston, and millions of names that go on. So it's always been a blessing. I've worked in this industry for, as Naya said, about 35 years since I was 2 years old. So I did learn the ins and outs. And just fully stepping into that position, I think that for me, it's about resetting the ethics, standards, morals, integrity to public relations and media consciously and sustainably, so that moving forward, not only do we, hold our publicists, but also our media accountable for great content and great work. So much.
I love it.
But it's,
we're gonna talk. I'm excited about you.
Right? Isn't she awesome?
I'm excited about you.
Oh my gosh, I love your laugh, Ericka.
Thank you. Thanks, Michelle.
Absolutely.
I think the older I've gotten, it's getting louder and louder. I've been hearing it from my grandmother, Mary, who's passed away. But it's definitely got me out. Quite boisterous.
I have a saying: laugh it loud, laugh it proud. Wow.
That is me, honey. You will hear me a mile away. I promise you. I promise you. You will.
Hey, Mira. Hello, everybody that's joining us, coming in and out the room. This is how Clubhouse works. They come in and out. They never actually just it's really weird. Clubhouse is not, how like on Facebook they'll kind of say Clubhouse is going in and out, go to room to room, pop back in occasionally. Yeah. So you'll get used to it. So you actually did a lot of work.
So people can start to follow the club if you guys are just coming.
Yes.
Make sure that you guys hit that greenhouse. We just created that, the collective empowerment room. And so we are going to be, obviously adding different topics as we continue to grow in the space, and finally decided to open up a club that wanted to make it around empowerment. I was asked to do more of women empowerment segments, but I definitely want to empower my brothers equally. So we just decided to make it a collective empowerment. So if you have any ideas, please back channel us and make sure that you guys follow the club. And look forward to and the collective empowerment.
Yeah, I love this. I'm officially part of my first club.
Yes. Come through.
I'm a newbie. This is all brand new, so this is exciting.
Yes.
This is one of the things I've been holding off. I've had it on my phone for months, but I've just been holding off, and so she got me here again. So here we are.
Yes. So if you have not followed Ericka, follow her. Follow her. She is new. Hello. Who's this?
Is this somebody famous?
Oh, absolutely. Are you kidding me? She's especially on TikTok. What do you mean? She's gone viral on TikTok.
I don't know who
I know.
Hi, Quan. Welcome. Are you ready?
Wait, Quan?
How do you pronounce your name?
Oh. Wait, it's just Antonio, not Quan.
Oh, Antonio?
Why would I change that? Who even put that thing on my name?
Well, welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Do you have any questions that you want to share?
Why is it such a big deal that Ericka Porter MBA comes to Clubhouse?
Oh my goodness. Why? Because she has been in the industry for over 20 years and she's probably worked on every single station that you've ever watched on television and in movies. So yeah.
Wait, let me Google her real quick.
Yes, really Google her real quick. Let's quick.
And while you're at it, can you add some stuff to your bio? I'm going to move you down to the audience and so they're safe.
What would you like to have in my bio?
Well, everybody needs when you become part of Clubhouse, you have to add a little bit of a bio. So who you are, what you're doing, past, present, future. And then most definitely add a Twitter and Instagram so that people can follow you. They just created the back channel maybe about almost 2 months ago. But there you can't really share anything. So, yes, welcome.
So I'm at the age where I use my Instagram to get bitches. Why would I?
There we go. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Yeah, and that's what we call a bot, Ericka.
Yeah. Oh, right. Period. Let's block him.
And it's almost.
I knew the energy. I knew the energy was off. When Susie jumped on, so I was like quiet. But I knew the energy was off. But yeah, that was really unexpected. But yeah, no, keep going. Thank y'all.
Oh yeah, we're done. Yeah, no.
You know what? Just a laugh, a quick little
exactly.
Laugh. Yeah, totally. It just kind of caught me off guard. But yeah, that was.
We entertained it real quick, but see, the funny part was had he not said the thing about the bees, like then we wouldn't have a problem. But you wanted to go there, Papa. So now you're gone. Thanks. Hello. We don't do that over here, honey.
I just learned that you can boot them out.
Yes, I booted him out. Yes, you can kick the trolls right on out. They have no say. They can't ever come back. Ever. I love that part. Shout out to Clubhouse for that. Now, if we can get YouTube to do the same damn thing, that'd be perfect. I'm just saying. Hey, Bonnie.
I love it. The power of the green bean.
Baby, the power of the green bean, honey. Yes. You lost their mind. Boy, bye. I love it. Bonnie, did you have any questions?
I was just saying hello, guys. Hi, Saba.
Hey, bye.
I'm just here listening.
Awesome. So Bonnie is actually one of our students in the intro to PR classes. So, yes. So,
hello, everybody.
So,
I have a quick question for Ericka.
Go ahead.
Actually,
Mm-hmm.
I heard her say seventh heaven. No, sorry. My brain has short-term memory sometimes. But what was it? What did you do for seventh heaven? Sorry.
Well, okay, so very early on, when I first started working in television, and I shared the story of me taking my first job as a receptionist at WSTR TV in Cincinnati. And so I ended up, within 6 months, I was in engineering. So engineering and formatting, we actually, our shows that we aired were those shows, including Steve Harvey, the original Steve Harvey. It's, ironic, funny now that I've worked with Steve Harvey and done stuff on Steve Harvey shows, a lot of stuff, set galas, everything. But at that time, it was the Steve Harvey show, Seventh Heaven, all those shows. So I was one of the engineers. So switching the shows, the commercials, all that good stuff. And then we would do what we call in-house promos for the actual show. So it reflected the actual network, that station for itself. So each station, like, say, for example, WGN, if they're airing, I don't know what some of their evening shows are, but, so they have an evening show, and that evening show, they would have a promo that's attached to that. So they usually have some celebrities and, watch, Ricky Lake, blah, 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 at this time. Well, we would actually set up those promos, so that meant when they would come into town, we would shoot them or they would send us. So one of the ones that we did, and I did a lot of, was the Jamie Foxx show, as we had him too. Yeah, that was my first technical job in the industry. I was an engineer, and I also was a formatter. And then I aligned myself with the creative department, which now, he's one of my mentors, Mark Rainey. He is the director of that department, and they did all the commercial production. And so he took me under his wing and introduced me to the space of producing. And so I was literally learning 2 platforms at the same time. It was so amazing. I've always been that one that I got to be doing multiple things, because I sit still, I go crazy with my hands. So.
And this thing.
Are you? Yeah, but I think that's folks in general who are creative. Yeah, we've got to force ourselves to sit still, and that includes our minds, because even if we go to sleep, and we got all kinds of things going on in our brains. Then I get that or an idea comes in the middle of our sleep, and then we wake up and we start making notes and all these kind of things. So it's been, but the amazing thing is it's just been a part of who I am, because when I reflect back onto my youth, and needing this is a safe space for me to get out the traumatic experiences that I had gone through as a child, was telling stories, writing stories, telling stories. I kept all that stuff to myself until 2018. But it's always been a safe space for me, and I've learned that there's a lot of people out there that want to tell their stories but are afraid to and don't know how. So the industry, they call me the talent whisperer. I make it easy for people to talk and tell their stories. But that's divine. It has nothing to do with me, to be honest with you.
That's definitely what's up. So you talked a little bit about your book. So what did it feel like to complete your book? Because, like, how empowering was that to finish that book?
I had a struggle emotionally when I released it. I was still holding on to fear, and the fear, fear can catapult you, and that's also what encouraged me to get it done. I was more concerned about, because I had been sharing my stories, parts of my story over the years via social media, and then also I've become transparent on social media, so people have gotten to know me, my family, and things of that nature. Some things, there's very personal stuff that social media is learned about. That book had been in the works for years before I even moved to Chicago, and it's been 13 years now. And it was the fear that was holding me back, but then I used it to catapult me, to push me and I was, concerned about what people think. Family members taking it the wrong way. All these other things, and I just had to get over it. And hey, it's gonna happen. Whatever happens, it happens. But for me, writing that book, it was the empowerment came from the healing that happened when I finished it, when I completed it. That's when it came, because I was experiencing true healing through my writing process. I was able to release the areas that I had been holding on to for a very long time. And so it was less about accomplishing the goal of finishing my first book. It was more about releasing and creating a space to help others do the same. And people all the time, they, even family members, like folks all the time, I want to tell my story. And I've gotten to the point now where I know how to self-publish, show up in the system in that manner. But I hope to guide them in telling their story. And it's not going to be an easy process. It's not easy on the other side. I still, to this day, people took some things that I said that I didn't even use. This was not a tell-all about anybody else but myself.
Mm-hmm.
But there were folks that took offense to stories that I shared about myself.
How?
But I can imagine that.
Yes.
I mean, when it's like a lot of times, I think that's like unspoken thing is a lot of people are feeling different ways underneath the surface, and until you bring it up, it's like, oh, okay, now she here to talk about. Now maybe I can, start expressing my side. But I think that just empowers them at the same time. That's where the healing starts, because you chose to take that, next step.
Yeah. Just, sometimes it just takes one step. That one step leads you to the next, And sometimes for many folks, a lot of folks, it can take you a lifetime, but a lifetime is never too late to accomplish a goal, accomplish something that is part of your destiny. And so it's truly been a blessing, even still to this day. But it's still, I'm still getting, it's still selling, and I'm putting the money back in other resources, not mine, which is clear to bless other resources, other folks, other organizations.
Yes. So tell us a little bit about how you got involved with the 48-hour film project.
My good friend Jerry Vassalatos, he was the producer for a number of years, and I had participated in the 48-hour film project myself a couple times. Once when I was in the Cincinnati area years ago, a long time ago, and then the second time this year when I first moved here to Chicago, I was looking to connect with people, just in the industry, in the field. And so Jerry was actually he had a team, Nightstar Vision. He had a team, and I had submitted myself to be available as a producer on this really fun, sleepless weekend of filmmaking. And so him and I connected during that time, and that was about 11 years ago. And so Jerry then eventually became the city producer for the 48-hour film project. And when he was in that role, I served as one of the judges for the competition. So I then had just been around all the whole experience. So I understood what actually happened on the outside. And Jerry had shared, he shared this last week. He said, Ericka, he's like, I know what your schedule's like. And he's like, the last thing I wanted to do was put this kind of burden on you because there's a lot of work. And he's like, I know how crazy your schedule is. And, because when we talk and we're friends, he's like, but I had already been approached, and this information was shared with me for me to be considered as a city producer for the 48-hour film project. So that information was forwarded to me. Then that person connected me with them, and then Jerry did the same. It's been an interesting and an amazing ride. We're in the middle of setting things up for screenings this coming week. It's 51 teams that registered this year. 44 teams made it.
44 teams made it? That's awesome.
Yeah, 44 teams made it. Now, I say they made it. And they made it on the other side.
Right.
Those teams are all considered for screening, are eligible for screening and eligible for audience awards. But there's 39 teams that actually, right now, they will be going through the judging process. So they will actually, be considered for the best of, and for the 48-hour Film Project Chicago. Their film will then be considered and go into a pool through what is called Film Palooza. And then from that, they then introduce these individuals to the Cannes short film corner. But the relationships that these folks have established, there's teams that have been competing for years. It's a great way for them to break up the monotony of the work and just have fun, It's really, really interesting. And these people they're delirious by Sunday evening because they've had no sleep. Mm-hmm.
How was that last day?
You said what?
How was the last day?
The last day was quiet until about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. That's because, they started at 7:30 that evening on that Friday, or 7 o'clock 7:30 that Friday. And then they had to have the project submitted by 7:30 on Sunday, which is last Sunday the 3rd. So, it was when people started to go through the upload process, realizing they didn't get all the documentation that they, and all the stuff that was shared with them, they missed or, weren't clear. So we had the phone started ringing, and I had to give them one of my business lines, y'all. 44 teams calling one of my business lines. I had to turn that line on for the weekend to take those calls. It was pretty chaotic. I couldn't sleep because I was in the middle of the weekend. I was also getting in the middle of the night. They were being respectful, not calling, but they were texting the questions and things of that nature. And because they were working on the fly, I needed to also make sure that I was available on the fly as well. And yeah, it was a pretty exhausting weekend. It was my last weekend of where I was not going to get any sleep for the next couple of weeks. So. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I think the biggest thing is that it was a process, right? And there was just such an amazing energy from all the contestants that I saw, at least, and even online. Like, they had this really dope vibe. And so whoever wins it is so lucky. And I'm so happy that you were chosen as a producer, because I don't think anyone outside of Jerry could have gave them that beautiful energy and made them feel the way that you did. So
they've expressed a lot of that they just really appreciated the energy, the vibe, and it's just it made it more enjoyable, the process. Even from the kickoff party that we had at the Chicago Southwick Hotel, graciously provided by the Chicago Southwick Hotel, and sponsored by NMS Networks. And so, just kind of, that whole check-in process, then having music, having food, having, it was like a little party to get them hyped and excited and everything. And that was like super, super fun. Not to mention we've been hybrid this year. So we've been doing virtual, so live stream, and also in person because of, the current circumstance, of course. So, it was really cool to be able to interact with the individuals online while I'm in person. But I had one of my good friends who's part of the committee, Carla Shaw. She's an actress, but she's also a film, not on stage, a playwright and a director for stage. And she has a theater company, and so she had Miss Jazzy entertain the virtual attendees until I would come back on and what have you. But it was awesome. And they can also I'm also hearing they appreciate is having the option to digitally upload instead of dropping things off in person, and also to be able to screen it virtually, so they can share the screening link with their family, their friends across the world. So it's not limited to what happens here in Chicago. Now other folks have access. Yeah.
That is definitely what's up. And so the other founder of this club, Donna, joined us. Hey, Donna, how are you? Donna might not be in the space where she can speak right now, but Donna's pretty awesome. She's another person that I met in the book.
Sorry about that. No, I was in the middle of reading Ericka's book background. I've kept I have held a lifetime of keeping secrets, and I was just like sucked in that moment.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So, my goal, Donna, was to inspire people to not hold back. And there was, there's, because our platform is media motivation. It wasn't always that. It was, I was God led me into that path, and it's always been part of what I'm supposed to be doing. When I started writing the book, portions of the book, I realized that there's a whole lot of people in this industry that need this, that are hurting, that have life experiences and don't know how to deal and heal from those. And I learned that when I started doing public events and speaking engagements to rooms that were media industry people only or aspiring industry people only. And when I've completed my portion or whatever that thing is, and then it's over, and I look up and there's this line that's so long, and as I'm going through this line of individuals, they're sharing their personal stories with me, and then I find myself in moments where I'm praying, holding their hand, hugging them, praying with them. That kind of, and I'm sorry because I feel a little emotional. I'm a strong person. I said, the heart on the sleeve, but when it comes to people, people are people. Mm-hmm. And they hurt. And one thing I can say about the media industry is that we do a lot of hiding. Mm-hmm. We shelter the pain. And we're forced to do that for many reasons, of which I don't have a lot more time to talk about, but they shelter the pain. And you can be in this industry and be free. I'm free. I don't care how people feel, if they may have been offended. I know that I'm healed, and I know that what I'm doing is helping others to heal. And that's all that matters.
Wow, I wish there were more supporters in the world. I'm so grateful that Denaya had you come in. This is not an easy industry, to say the least, and working in a 99% male-dominated industry. I feel like even at my level of age being in here. It's still so much further to go. But had there been mentorship from it might have changed my reality, even coming up, because it's never been easy for me, and it still isn't. I mean, even this year is a big year for me. And now I'm a mom, so add that on. It's definitely a balancing act. You know what I mean? So I'm so excited to read your book and to get to know you more. And I'm so grateful for Denaya for always, being somebody who finds the best people in the world and connects us all.
She does. I mean, yes, she does. So thank you for that. Yeah, thank you for that. And and I think people, I don't need a stranger. I've always felt like I don't need a stranger. People tell me their story. We could be in the store line, wherever it is, and people just start talking. Like I'm a great listener, and so it's important that we have this this space to do so. And I love Danny, because Danny, she knows that she's unlike most people, and I would say including some family members. She really knows how my life is set up, how hectic my schedule is, and what have you. But she knows how to align folks. She said, okay. She asked me all the time, "You want to do it? Are you ready? You ready? You ready? You ready?" And so I'm grateful to be able to share this moment with you all. I'm looking at your pictures and all these beautiful faces, and I just didn't realize how much more enjoyable this would be. And so I truly appreciate you, Danny, and I appreciate all of you beautiful ladies that are on here for taking the time out. It's just amazing. It is. It is inspiring to me. It's making me very pleasant. Yeah, but I want to. Yeah, this is amazing. Thank you guys. You're welcome.
I always say quality over quantity in real relationships. And so it's funny that Joy just came in the room, and on the Night Fabulous Queens, Ann Rivers came in the room as well. Ann Rivers is so incredibly amazing and inspiring, and just a beautiful soul. So I'm glad that she was able to join us. Same thing with Joy. She's been doing amazing work in the industry for years. Y'all actually got to meet at the kickoff of the 48-hour film festival. The one thing that I did want to say before I let you. Yeah. Right. I know she's here. I'm not sure. Might be her mic, because her mic be going in and out.
Hey.
Clubhouse is tripping. Hey.
Good morning. How are you?
On the West Coast.
I'm in Arizona.
Oh goodness, how you doing?
I'm fine. Welcome to Clubhouse.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Very much.
It's good to see you, AM. Thank you for joining us. And you live life by design, and so that's what I think inspires us too. But it's be born in the air. Live your best life.
Yes.
I love it.
The one thing that I did want,
I keep living my life in a created space.
Yes.
And it's always
yes.
Everything about my life has been it's been the road less traveled, and bits and pieces from the Bible, and bits and pieces from the Quran, and bits and pieces,
Yeah.
And right now the biggest focus is well-being inside and out. So I'm in that conversation, because without that we have nothing. So yeah, but welcome to Clubhouse.
Thank you.
Right?
You all making my first experience amazing.
Yeah, I would suggest you write all of the ideas and things that you love about your life on a piece of paper, and then go find the clubs that are doing that.
Yes.
And that's how I came on it back in January. I didn't follow anybody. I followed the clubs first, and then listened for who resonated.
Okay, that's good to know. Thank you.
I wish I would have done
I
that.
think it would be empowering if you did a club segment here in the collective empowerment and really kind of dive a bit more on the empowerment side, on the book, and just really, more tips and hopefully be able to bring in more people. You can also make sure that you add your Instagram, Twitter in the bottom of your bio because people do that. They do the scrolling, then they go to the bottom, and they want to go to the page. Then, like I told them, you can be judged, or he really wasn't a gentleman. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But it's chat. Just ask that chat, maybe like I said 2 months ago, and it's their photos and stuff like that, and so just so people can continue to connect with you. This is a really different place for networking worldwide. Just finding your tribe and being able to connect to them. That's what this platform actually gives us all a little more connection around the world, especially during coming out of COVID. I think that we found a lot of people that need this space, and that's what's helped it grow so much. But it still comes down to that, that one-on-one, getting to really know a person. But I find that the relationships here are almost like family. I've done so much with every person that's in this room, and it's really exciting to find people who are like-minded or sometimes smarter, but finding the collective.
I love it. Yeah. And I'm definitely gonna take those pointers, those tips that you offered, and apply that into this page. So really put some energy and build out this.
It's almost like there's a conversation within the conversation because the app is very benign. It doesn't have a lot of levers and buttons. But I like to live in the realm of the unsaid. So we're in this room today and we're having a conversation and we're going to cover a bunch of topics. Yeah. Now from this room, there's going to be like-minded people that are in clubs or create clubs like that. And you'll find those people. They do all kinds of stuff on this app. They sell artwork on here. Anything you could do on a cruise ship, they do on here. So I take it that way because if you take the position of a form of employment, or you have to put fun in this, you have to gamify this app. Otherwise, it can be really tedious, and people will forget to play, and you'll be able to tell. So just enjoy it. I stopped. It's like it's better than podcasting. It's better than talk radio because if you have an expert on stage that is distinguished in a particular profession, field, or expertise that you really need, you can find them and have a conversation. So it's immediate. And when she said about having your it's almost like the window dressing. So on my bio, it goes to my IG, and then from my IG, the link on my IG goes right to my LinkedIn. And then on my Twitter page, it goes back to my club, which is about pinging people into rooms that are effective to move conversations forward. And I formed a club around just doing that, moving people around. Like it's almost like taking the Clubhouse and making it a huge, infinite chessboard. Yeah. And you're in one room, and you heard somebody, like the switch memory game, when you turn the tiles over to see what's underneath it. If you're on here enough, you'll start to hear waves of conversation and waves and pockets of consciousness and directions in which people think. And you'll hear it very clearly. But you have to, it took me, I knew how to listen for it, but I'm telling you, so you can listen for it.
I appreciate it all. I'm soaking it all in. Thank you.
So, AM, you know that in my head, I went to that 70s TV show, and I'm hearing on Clubhouse, just love boat.
That's hilarious. I joke about cruises because that's one of the few things I've never done, and I'm like, I want to get over there, but after this thing happened, I'm like, you know what? It's okay. It's okay.
I love cruises until, as of recent, of course, I said,
Yeah, let me tell you, the Michelin train chef that I broke up with just before all this happened was like, listen, I got these tickets to a cruise. I know it sounds crazy. And I'm like, dude, I'll see you when I see you. But, you'll hear that example of people that will press through and they're not focused on what they're doing. They're pressing through. They're running into the burning building and everybody's safely outside. So what are you doing? But then you will find and hear people that are moving as fast as you or faster.
Yeah.
And that's community. Yeah, that's it.
Definitely. And before you get out of here, I just want you to explain. So Ericka's gone viral on multiple occasions, but the most important one not most important, but the most recent, and actually one of the most important ones for me, was the reason that you went viral on TikTok. Can you explain that real quick?
Are you talking about Billie Holiday?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't expect that to happen. I just was voicing my opinion because I always had one. And so there was a song, being creative, being in this industry, and just being passionate and being, but using the word again, respectful of the space, storytelling, creativity, and things like that. History is aligned to the work that we do, the work we contributed is valuable. And so Billie Holiday, this song called Strange Fruit, it describes, she formed the song, but the song was actually written by another individual who was a poet. And so when she, an author, and so she performed the song Strange Fruit, and so there's a line that talks about blood on the leaves, and they're talking about discussing the writer's experience of going through the South and seeing the bodies of, and I could say not our ancestors, but seeing the bodies of us hanging from the trees. You could smell the magnolias, but there was blood on the leaves. And it was so impactful that this story, or the song rather, became controversial. That's what's important to know the history of, I would not say I'm a historian, but if we're going to use something, at least understand where it came from. And so there's a lot of, we know songs are remixed all the time. But this particular song was done a few times, of course. But this recent on TikTok, the TikTokers, they make these songs and you can upload them via the TikTok page as a sound file via TikTok. And they used the song and they misrepresented the story behind now. Apparently there was some kind of talk about it before Kanye had covered it. Me and Simone had covered it, but there wasn't any major talk about it. But the rapper was talking about shooting and killing people, like, in the streets. Our people in the streets. And he talking about what he was going to do. And so I just had an opinion. And I posted that opinion. I looked crazy. I just got up out there, y'all. I still had my Volvo and a bonehead wrap on my head and my little glasses. And I was appalled at the song. And I just went on there and I'm like, look, y'all, don't y'all listen to this song. y'all out here making little dances. Y'all posing like dead bodies right now, and you don't even know where the song came from. That's all I said. And then it just went viral, like in an instant. It was just so crazy. You know, when they say that it stuff happens overnight, that was that overnight situation. Next thing I know, I went from like, you know, like it was a functional 6,000 followers to like almost 22,000 followers overnight. And that video is gone. It's in the millions right now. But they eventually took the sound off. So the sound that his song and my song, yeah, you can't hear me talking on that original video. But it is pinned on my TikTok. But they did remove his song from TikTok. Yeah. And that people got angry. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's where that came from. That wasn't even intentional. It just, you know, I just had an opinion that was controversial. And TikTok said, oh, okay, great. Because you dance on here all the time. You do this here and all this and that and here all the time. But, yeah, you got the conspiracy theory thing going on right now. So let's go ahead and just, you know, bring yours to attention here. And that's what it did.
You know, but that shows the power of one voice. Now, mind you, again, Ericka creates content all day long. And she plans for, you know, when some of her content goes viral, she plans for that. This wasn't one of those.
I woke up, my phone was just ping, ping, ping. I had a notification. I was like, what's going on? I looked and I'm like, this thing is like, where are all these followers coming from? People were arguing on that. They were arguing on that post. They were, you know, going off at each other. And you have people that doesn't understand, you know, what song, because, you know, they're not TikTok, you know, they don't have any TikTok. They don't understand TikTok, so they, you know, they're trying to like, what song? But just push the song, you can hear it. The volume was down. And so there was a lot of controversy just in the comment section alone. So they asked for more. When they asked for more, I gave them more. So I gave them the backstory. I gave them, you know, additional, I was answering, responding to questions, you know, that they had. It went into a multi-part series. They call it a TikTok series. That was my first one that I had actually done on TikTok. I know how to put them together, but it just hadn't done one. So I put a TikTok series and just gave them full detail. It exposed information to a lot of young folks that had no idea, folks of other races and ethnicity. And it really, I saw this heart of compassion just open up in this stage. And folks expressing that they were going to be more conscious when they're doing things and listening to things. And I'm not saying that things that, you know, I mean, we listen to all kinds of, I love hip-hop, I love all this. It's just, you know, just respecting stories. And in that case, there was history behind that song. Mm-hmm. The song meant something. It came from somewhere. You know, it was part of our, you know, our experiences. And so, yeah, it was a blessing to shed light on something that many people weren't aware of.
Exactly. And I think the one thing about that whole situation for me was the amount of people that reposted it and were just like, pay attention to this. Like, what are y'all doing? You know, listen to what she's saying, you know, and I think that was really powerful because there was people of all ages that had reposted. That's why the thing went viral, because everybody reposted it, talks about it. And like she said, that wasn't the planned one. That was just, you know, just having an opinion. But it really does show the power of one person, the power of one voice. So when you think that you are just there and you have no power, you have no voice, you have no say in whatever's going on, this right here proves to you that is not true. That is not true. People are watching. People are always watching.
And I know y'all know people talk about it on Facebook all the time that they'll say people just kind of pop up out of Facebook and will work. No, they see you even when they don't want to see you. And so the interesting thing is about these algorithms though with these social media spaces are quite interesting. It's saying that what happened the other day with Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, which is owned by Facebook, that was to change the algorithm again. Where y'all seeing the stuff on the news, all kinds of weird stuff going on. So if we're gonna use the platforms, use it to use it at our own liking, but for us professionals. That we're using it to help build our brand and expose ourselves and expose who we are. People align themselves. Unfortunately, we're in a space where you can have the bomb business, the bomb experience, bomb knowledge, but if people don't know who you are, they're like, okay, what? Why? It's all these questions. So it's like we've got to establish ourselves on platforms, whether they're websites, social media pages. We have to have some type of something where people can connect with us and identify with us, and not realizing just early on. I learned this as time went on. I didn't know this when I first started social media. But I was keeping everything private. Now people don't know when I'm going through things that so there's some things that I'm like working on big that I don't post anything until it happens. But it's a definitely interesting space, and you can actually take full advantage of it, and then begin to monetize and on those different platforms.
Yeah.
I think it's super important, the fact that you just mentioned, like with that TikTok video, like a lot of people, when I was doing the writing for Dark Twisted Fantasy, doing the publishing on our behalf, on my partner who has mentored Kanye, so he had a bunch of writing credits in there that I had to write out. And just while I was writing the words out, I was thinking to myself, like, a lot of people don't understand this song. A lot of people don't know where this came from, and I think that is so important, especially in the new world for all the younger generations. Like, you really touched on something, because they don't understand the history. And I don't think that they take the time to really understand where it came from. But it becomes trends, it becomes stuff that they're talking. And when you ask them, well, do you even know what you're talking about? They're like, oh, yeah.
Right.
They don't. So,
yeah.
I think that's something to be said, and even a different lane where you're kind of covering the history of where a lot of these songs or, culture changing things come from. They just, but that's also probably part of journalism, right? Coming from the media side of things. But I think it's almost, it would be sad if we were to retire today and not do something about that, and that's where I really want to focus on those conscious stories, on creating that content around all the art to heal the world, because I think that's what is going to heal the world, is having positive, collective, conscious, sustainable content, and brands and businesses and, things that we're covering. So, I'm so grateful that you were able to join us today, and I definitely look forward to connecting with you more. And thank you, Danielle, for bringing her aboard, and looking forward to, helping you grow here too on Clubhouse, and hopefully hosting some more spaces with you. We had that big, what was that, about 3 weeks ago, when the whole Karen Civil thing hit, and she came on Clubhouse, and it was just a disaster for her. But it did bring an enlightenment to all that we do, and I think that, and you'll meet Michelle Tucker. She's another senior publicist that helped with the course, and one of my sisters, and she's she was like, sis, this couldn't be a better time that we're doing this course. And so it's going to take a lot of us to come together collectively to help change this needle and take advantage of the time that's in front of us, and so I'm so grateful. And I'm going to order your book today. You guys make sure you order Ericka's book. Support people and treat people the way you want to be treated. If any of us wrote a book, we would want the support of other women and the support of other people. So
thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, and I just I pray that it encourages you. And I always I keep a stack of books to give away to young folks in my car. There's a you can actually focus on daily affirmation, helping to find value in who you are, and because one of the things that I struggled with was self-love. I was life experiences forced me to not love myself. I hated myself. And as beautiful of a human being as I am, and I was even then as a child and as a young adult, I despised who I was, and that was demonstrated in the things that I did, the things that I allowed in my life. And then that's the point where I learned to love myself. You can't tell me nothing. You can't tell me nothing. I love myself. I love everything about me. Every single thing. And I it's important that we find that part of who we are. And so I hope that this message of self-love continues to spread and impact others' lives. Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate you very much, though. I'm so inspired. Oh my goodness. and this is, here's the thing. I've got an event I have to go to here in a little bit, so I'm gonna have to go. But this thing is at the top of the year, I asked God. I said, in new relationships, new networking relationships, and new. Let me tell y'all something. From January, it's been amazing. So thank you. Thank you for bringing me here.
Absolutely.
Before you go, I have to say your logo is insane. I love it for chicks that pitch. The creativity.
You meet Eric, his blazing graphics. He does like the Selena Johnson, a lot of music artists, what have you. And he's very innovative, and you can go with him. But I'm very particular and very specific, So if I give him something, it's like wow, bam, like oh my gosh, and he elevates it, to a whole nother level. So Eric, he was blazing graphics, and he's amazing. So if you need information, I'll definitely send it to you.
It's just gorgeous, attracting. I have a print on my wall of lips bite, like a lip being bit. So yes. That whole connection, you know what that's saying.
Yes, honey, yes.
Thank you for keeping it real, because generationally, those of us who came before, secrecy was just a way of life. Yes. And it doesn't have to be that way. And having the courage to come from that and to be able to break past or to honor people where they are with those secrets and the things that they hold dear takes a lot from an empathy perspective. So to be able to have that open heart, to listen, to share, you turned it around and prayed with them. Thank you for that acceptance, because so many people in life have never felt that.
Yeah, and I appreciate that, and hearing that. It's just when those moments happen, God saying, this is why I have you here. This is why I have you here. And when because I've been obedient, the doors just boom, boom, they bust wide open. It's amazing. And it's not me seeking that out. I'm not even in search of. They're just coming. The door, hit 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 the door. I'm like, yeah. So, I found myself in a position where I'm overwhelmed with the idea of all the doors in front of me, and happen to be just mindful and prayerful of which ones are coming from God and which ones are coming from somewhere else. But they're all here. And so, it's been truly a blessing.
And to the point that Denaya rose about your most viral TikTok or most recently, that to me speaks to how authenticity is what is what the world needs. And here's to it, cha-chinging and bringing lots more money, because those millions of views, I hope that's something that is good for you.
And I told Facebook, I said, thank y'all for making making me TikTok rich. Because I said I got my first one $12, and I think got more since. Where I said I got my first one $12 about a month ago. Thank y'all. But it's pretty cool.
But before you get out of here, I just wanted to say, Ericka, thank you for everything. You literally have been my rock, especially this past couple of years since my mom passed. Like, the one thing I love about Ericka is that I didn't have to worry about where she was in the city. When I said I needed her, she came. There was no question about it. And she's just been before, and she actually loves her. Ericka has this just incredible, powerful energy, and I'm glad that we were able to welcome her in this space, specifically with collective empowerment. Thank you, Saba and Donna, for creating this space, because they just created this space, and the reason that they created this space is the reason that I brought her here, because this is the right room to bring her. This is the right clubs to be in, because these are the right people that she needs to connect with. I never worry about numbers whenever I do any kind of a broadcast, because I always know whoever's in the room is supposed to be there. Whoever's there is supposed to receive that message. And this is how you grow. This is how you build. Like she said, she wasn't even planning to go viral. And she plans herself out all the time, so that's the funny part. But that was the one that went viral because it showed who she was, and it showed the passion that she had, and it was the fact of her being authentic. We all knew this. Beyond the fact that she's been doing television and working on movies and work with every single brand that you can think of. We know Ericka for who she is, and that's an amazing person with a beautiful heart that has put so many people in this country on in the industry. It would make your head swim. And on behalf of everyone that you have put on that has not given back, I want to say thank you. Thank you for everything that you have done and you continue to do for this industry. Thank you for everything that you have done and you continue to do for my friends specifically. And my apologies for the ones that forgot that you was the one that put them out. I'm just saying, look.
That I've done my job. It's like, I do it. I don't do it for the recognition. I do it because I know I'm supposed to. Express my life, express other lives, whether they return, they pay it forward, or they come back and say, "Hey, thank you." Those things are important. And the most important thing is that lives are being changed, families are being healed, and people continue to build.
Yes. Yeah. That part there is kind of important. That part there is definitely kind of important. Make sure y'all follow Ericka for the MBA and all social media, especially on TikTok, because she's going down over there. She's on Instagram. She's everywhere doing the daggone thing. And we'll continue. Go to www.mediamaven.com. Just Google her, man. Find everything that she's doing and support it. Grab that book because the book is amazing. It will change your life. It is so powerful. You would not believe her story. I'm telling you, y'all need to get that book. I have the pleasure to say that Denaya Designs for You was featured on the cover and inside the book. I was there for the photo shoot for the book, and it was incredible. incredible, so powerful, so empowering. She actually got to wear my mom's pieces, the Dazzler, in the book as well. And she just smiled when she saw that. So she absolutely loved you. You are such a beautiful person. I know you got to go because you have 10,000 things to do. So thank you for taking the time out to come to Clubhouse, and welcome to Clubhouse, Ericka.
You guys, I appreciate this time. I appreciate connecting and networking with you all. This is, I feel this time is valuable. Our time is valuable. And I feel that there is a lot of amazing energy in this corner, in this space, and there's some things that are going to transpire from this space. And so I'm excited to be a part of it. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, you guys. Unless you have any other words, I'm about to end the room. So.
Thank you.
And thank you, Ericka, for all you've done for Denaya as well. We really appreciate you and spending time with us today. And we'd love to have you think of a day that would work. That you'd like to do like an hour with us and whatever you want to. We're definitely here to support you, and we'll come in and help you moderate and let you kind of run the show. So that's what this is all about. I love it. Say that in the last 7 months, even though at first I was resentful about, or kind of didn't want to do Clubhouse, but the community that I've grown from here has now allowed me to, and I'm announcing this just with this group of people, but I've got the financial backing now to make everything happen for myself. So I'm super grateful because I don't think it would have happened any other way. And so to have mentorship finally this year and know that I'm going to be able to create that longevity, not only for my team, but for legacies to come, is a blessing. And that only came from doing the networking, doing the work, but also identifying with intention what it is that I needed and showing up. So thank you, Ericka.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you very much. I look forward to connecting with you. Very much so.
Thank you so much. Everybody have a blessed, fabulous Saturday and make it a phenomenal Sunday, and do something kind for somebody else that can never repay you. Thank you, Denaya, for space. Thank you for everybody being here. And with that, Denaya, did you want to close the room?
Yes, ma'am. In 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, you guys. Thank you.